Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is another speed build, and today we're actually doing James Turner's Tiny Build Generator Challenge. Basically, if you go to his website, you can generate a tiny build prompt. As you can see, I have the overlay on the video of all the requirements for this challenge. I will go ahead and link his website down below in case you want to check it out. He also has some other cool challenges on there, including Create-A-Sim challenges. But moving on to the build, we are doing a tiny home here. Some of the other requirements are it has to be Mount Komorebi style, has to fit a young adult, a teen, and a dog, and we have about $42,000 for our budget, and then we have to include these two items at the bottom, and I do include those later on in the build. I haven't done Mount Komorebi style builds in a while, so this was really fun to do. Also, for the prompt, I actually re-rolled a few times. The reason being, because I kept getting like 20 tile houses for like 3 sims, and I was like, I don't think that's possible without cheating. So I did re-roll until I got something reasonable. I didn't choose it because I liked the prompt though. And as you can see, the exterior is coming along. We actually end up with a few less tiles than we're allowed, so that was good there. As you can see, I ended up getting rid of that little foundation piece at the front, the little porch piece, because I didn't have enough tiles to put it on the side as well, so I figured I'd just make it match. And I'm putting in the doors, so I ended up doing darker wood on the outside and lighter wood on the inside, and I think I really like how it looks. And you can see I'm placing filler furniture, some doors in there, lights, just getting everything set up. I'm choosing the windows here. And wow, that's a lot of spinning, I apologize. Here I'm fine-tuning the placement of the back door. And the back door, the layout fit really nicely, like the back door fit nicely. I did playtest this build, so it does work. I playtested the kitchen, the beds, both sides of the double bed, the bathroom. I made sure you could get out the back door, and you can. Now I'm just going ahead and placing the dog items because I didn't want to forget about that part. And it's actually good that we got a dog instead of a cat, because a cat would need a litter box and probably like a cat tree. I am now realizing I didn't give the dog any toys, but there is a food bowl and there is a pet bed. And you can see I'm now placing the items that were required. So that little nightstand was required, and then that little light I put outside was also a requirement. And I actually think that it fit the build kind of well, which wasn't my initial intention or my initial thought. Like, I didn't think it would be super easy to fit it in, but it fit really nicely. And since we didn't get upper cabinets with Snowy Escape, I am using a shelf and just putting some clutter on it. We got the plates, we got those little tea jars, which I absolutely love. And here I'm using the mortar and pestle that we got in for rent. I love that item so much. Do I have one in real life? No. Do I use one? Ever? No. But I really love all the kitchen clutter we've been getting recently. And I was actually really nice, and at some point I do add an indoor trash can. I never do that. I never do that in my builds. I find them annoying because they fill up and then you have to take the trash out, and it's just easier for them to go to the outdoor trash can since it never fills up. And here I'm using that same shelf that I used in the kitchen to kind of make like a TV stand sort of situation. And I'm placing some clutter on top. I used a lot of Mount Komorebi in this pack since we were doing the Mount Komorebi style. But I did use like mostly Mount Komorebi, or sorry, Snowy Escape items. I did use, I'm trying to think what else I used. I definitely used cats and dogs. I don't think this is a limited pack by any means, but honestly, if you have Snowy Escape, you should be able to download this build, and you'll just be missing a few items probably. And I'm almost done with the living space, honestly. I did end up sizing up that rug and placing 2 of them to make it bigger in the living room, but we're moving on to the bathroom for now. And I used all much all Mount Komorebi items. Sorry, Snowy Escape. I keep saying Mount Komorebi as if that's the pack name. But yeah, this build went by really quickly. It came together so nicely. So we've got our little bathroom here. I didn't put toilet paper, and that's on purpose because that toilet actually has a bidet. So theoretically, you wouldn't need toilet paper. And I actually remember I fiddle with the towel colors for a little bit, so we'll probably see that in a second here. Unfortunately, the hand towel and the like body towel, they just didn't match. So they're slightly different shades, but it's okay. I think one is a little bit darker. But it's okay. It's a bathroom. It is what it is. That's probably my biggest pet peeve with The Sims, honestly, is that we don't have matching swatches and everything. Now we're moving on to the teens room, and I had a lot of fun with this. I think this is kind of like my dream room, except smaller. I love the colors in this room. It was very fun to do, very colorful. I used a lot of high school years, including that swatch on that high school year's dresser that I don't think I've ever been able to use. But it fit perfectly with the color scheme and this rug. This rug, I feel like popped in this room. And we're just decorating it like a teen lives here. You know, some clothes that need to be put away, some makeup. But if you want to play and have a child live here, that's totally fine too. You could also change it out for a toddler's room. I was just doing this for the challenge. And we have the perfect lamp from high school years as well, because it has like that same pink and purple, and then it also has like a tealish blue color, which kind of ties in the rug. And then I think I add a blue, yeah, I think I make that mirror that I just placed blue. So it kind of ties it all together. And now we're moving on to the last room of the house, honestly. I went for a more of like a sagey green vibe in this room, and this room does work because, like I said, I did playtest it. I wasn't sure it was gonna work. Wasn't sure your Sims would be able to get in there, but they can. And here I'm just placing the curtains, picking out the wall colors. Not as much clutter in this room, but I still think it looked nice. And in my mind, whenever I do builds, to me the parents' room kind of fits the vibes of the rest of the house, and then the kids' rooms are a little different. Mainly because the adults or the owners of the house are probably going to be the ones to decorate the house and also their own bedroom. So I feel like the vibes would kind of match. And I love that chair from Snowy Escape as well, with a little blanket thrown over it. I think it is so cute and we need more items like it. And then I just put some little like poofs at the bottom of the bed. And here I'm using tools to lower that bookshelf because I actually sized down that side table and the slot doesn't lower with it. So you have to kind of fiddle with it. But we're done with the interior and we're moving on to the exterior now. And it came together pretty quickly. It's honestly mostly just landscaping. So for landscaping, I just used a bunch of debug because I wanted it to match with the rest of the world. And we only have a few things in the regular catalog from Snowy Escape. So I went into debug and I got these little low-lying leaves and then some flowers that are used around the world. And here I am deciding which plants I'm going to use, but I ended up using those flowers. And then I'm adding some rocks in between. And don't worry if you see that the low-lying leaves are floating, I do fix that because I realized that later on and I was like, oh, those are like floating off the ground, and it's not because it's touching the foundation. Sometimes when you put plants up to the foundation, it like raises to the foundation level. That wasn't happening with this plant. It just is from debug, so it was raised a little bit. Sometimes that happens. So here I am going and lowering them all. And then I went ahead and fixed the rocks and the other little plant I had put in there because I had raised those so that they could be seen. But once I lowered the plants, then they were floating, so. But don't worry, I fixed everything. And I think we're about to move on to some terrain paint. So we're really just wrapping up the builds here. I tried to make it blend because the pathing doesn't come right up to the build or to the lot. It's hard, so I tried to kind of fade it out so that it blended a bit more and didn't just end abruptly. And yeah, I think I'm just adding in some dirt here. I was trying to decide which dirt to use. I felt like the one that I normally use was a little dark, so I went for a lighter brown. And I'm just lining everything with the dirt, putting it underneath everything. And then I think we're gonna hop into a little tour of the build. And I hid the trash cans away too. I like how that turned out as well. So here we are entering the build. And this is the living room, I think, or the living area, I guess. I think it turned out really cute. Again, the layout just kind of came together. Sometimes this kind of thing takes me a while to figure out, but this came together really well. And then we have our little teen room. We're gonna go across to the bathroom, which is also kind of nice. And then the primary bedroom, which I think is really cute too. And then here's some screenshots of the outside. But other than that, I'm gonna go, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye!